it's Monica from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and I'm here today with a new video. I hope you have absolutely fabulous day, and I'm going to show you how to create some cards using just one pen and one stamp set. But if you wait until the very end of the video, I've got something special for you. So here are all my tools. So I use the new tri-color Aqua markers from Spectrum Noir. They just released it, I think, last week. And in this set, we've got color basics. What's very special about these pens is that they've got 3 colors in each pen. Inside the box, you've got a booklet with all the information, how to mix colors and how to create new colors as well. So for today's video, I'm going to use Cool Primary, but in the box you also have Warm Primary and Complementary pen. I'm also going to use a stamp set called Once in a Lifetime that you could only get during the birthday week from Crafters Companion in November. So I'm going to show you how these pens work, how they mix, and we're going to create some cards together. And here you can see the beautiful stamp set. As you can see, I already used it, which you might see at the very end of the video. Okay, so let's start our first card. For the first card, I'm going to use watercolor paper from Spectrum Noir, and actually I'm going to stamp all my sentiments and flowers on this card. And for the back panels, I'm just going to use regular card. So here I just die cut the oval using nesting dies from Spectrum Noir, and we are going to use the tri-color pen. And we are going to use the beautiful florals from the stamp set. I'm going to use the pen as an ink pad, which is absolutely stunning. So as you can see, I'm just putting the color on my stamp set. And actually I am going back and forwards all the time just to make sure I didn't leave any empty spaces. And then I'm going to stamp it on a watercolor card. And the effect is absolutely amazing. That's absolutely fine. If we miss some spots, now we're going to use a paintbrush and some water to actually move the color on our panel. And as you can see, the color moves really nicely here. The aqua markers are absolutely fantastic. This technique is just amazing. And with these pens, you can actually use them as ink pads, so you can stamp so many images, especially flowers. So now I'm really happy with the result. I actually left some of the white spaces there just to give my flowers some highlights. And here I've got the smallest stamp from the set. And again, I'm going to use the same technique. I'm applying the pen on the stamp set and stamp with it. So as you can see here, I created a very thin strip, which will go on my card as well. I really like this technique because you can stretch your supplies so much and create amazing effects. And again, if you think that the color is a little bit too light with your water, then you can add some more color on top when everything is dry. Here I'm just putting the daffodil color, and I'm using wet paintbrush just to give a variation of the color on my flowers. So I'm trying to get a little bit more orangey color inside the small flower and pinkish color on the next to the outline. And the effect is absolutely beautiful. And the pink color here is called Rose Red, which is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. So now I've got my 2 focal points ready for my card. Here is the back panel. As you can see, I use pink card and just white card here. And again, I'm using double-sided tape and liquid glue to put those pieces together. Then I'm going to stick my strip with the beautiful flower, but first I'm going to back it on a pink card just to give it more dimension on a card. Again, I'm peeling off the double-sided tape and applying liquid glue just to make sure everything is nice and secure on the card. And then I thought that it was a little bit too plain. So what I did, I covered my strip and I put the rose red color on the side, and I use a little bit of water, and I'm going to make some splatters here. And this actually gave such a beautiful effect. I'm not really sure if you can see it on the video here, but in real life it's so beautiful, and it actually gives so much beautiful effect here. Now I'm going to take the strip off, but actually I'm going to use it later for the same card. And now it's time to put our beautiful floral here. And also we are going to stamp our sentiment, which is actually the strip that I used to cover my beautiful flowers. I'm going to use waterproof ink from Spectrum Noir, which works absolutely amazing with Aqua markers, because then the black ink doesn't bleed. So here I'm stamping Happy Birthday from this set, and I'm going to fussy cut around. If you make any mistakes, we can always fix it later. So here I'm using my scissors, and if you saw my previous videos, I always turn it over and cut just to make sure there are straight lines. And here I thought the ink didn't do a great job, so I'm using a fine liner just to make sure that all my letters are visible. I think I just didn't use enough pressure, but that's okay. Now I'm going to trim the excess of the strip here, just to make sure everything is even. And then we're going to put our beautiful floral on top. And I'm using just liquid glue. I didn't put any double-sided tape here, because the watercolor card is really thick, so we don't need double-sided tape. And then I'm going to use our rose red pen and make a tiny frame around our sentiment. And I think that just keeps all the elements together. And then I'm going to use double-sided foam adhesive just to give it a little bit of dimension, and I'm going to put my card on a card base. This one is measuring 5 by 7 inches. And now, as you can see, I put some double-sided foam adhesive, and as usual I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on top just to make sure everything is secure. I think this card turned out so beautiful, and I really love this effect when you can use the pen, the Aqua pen, as a stamp, as an ink pad. And now our card is nearly done. We just need some small gems. So I took my gems from my stash, and I'm going to put the light pink gems on the sides of my card, at the bottom and in the top right corner. These tiny gems add just so much to the card, and I really encourage you to use gems or pearls in your cards. They just give so much blink and shine. And that's our first card done. I really hope you like it, because I love it. Now we can move on to our second part. So here I use nesting dies from Crafter's Companion, and I die cut this focal point, and I'm going to use black waterproof ink to stamp my beautiful florals. And now I'm actually going to mix two colors. I'm going to mix the rose red and daffodil to create a few shades of orange. For the first flower, my rose red was a little bit too dark, so I thought with the other flowers I'm going to add daffodil first on a watercolor card and then take some rose red with water and apply the color on the flowers. And they turned out so beautiful. The aqua markers and all the colors just blend so beautifully, and I love that with every single card the color is so different. You can really play with them. And just a small tip, if you want to use your aqua markers as ink pads as well, you can use a little bit of glycerin. Even like 1 drop is enough, and then you can use inking tool to spread the color on the card to create beautiful backgrounds. And now I die cast 3 small circles, and I'm going to use again the same black waterproof ink from Spectrum Noir, and I'm stamping the small flowers. And again, I'm going to use the same color as for the main focal point. So I'm going to mix my rose red and daffodil. So I'm putting the daffodil first on a watercolor card, and then I'm going to use paintbrush with a little bit of water and rose red to change it into orange on those flowers. And if you've never ever tried Spectrum Noir aqua markers, I really recommend even the older versions. These are just my favorite. And now I'm going to use my fine liner just to make sure all the lines are visible, because again I just didn't press hard enough, which sometimes happens. But with card making we can always fix our mistakes. That is not a big deal. I really encourage you to try creating beautiful floral cards using different elements. And now I've got 2 panels. I just use white card, and I'm going to make splatters again. I'm not really sure if they are visible here, but in real life they add just a little bit of nice touch. And as you can see from my previous card, I've got stained finger, but I don't mind actually. The next day, all the colors just came off my hands. That's fine. But if you prefer, you can always use an acrylic block, or you can wear gloves. Later in the video I'm going to show you different technique with the splatters, so maybe that would be better for you. And here I'm going to use again the black ink from Spectrum Noir, which is waterproof, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. This is just regular card, and then I'm going to fussy cut and add some colors using the same pen. So for all my 3 cards today, I use just 1 pen to apply all the colors. Here I'm just putting the daffodil color straight on the card, and the rose red on my gloss mat, and with paintbrush to apply the color. So I just wanted a small variation of pinkish, oranges and yellow colors on my sentiment. And now I'm going to start putting all the elements together. As usual, I'm using double-sided tape with liquid glue just to make sure everything is nice and steady. I really like how this card turned out. And before we put our main focal element, I'm putting the orange strip and the white strip with the splatters in the middle of our card, and that will give it a little bit of dimension here. If you sometimes struggle with card making ideas, I suggest you Google card sketches. Then you've got different layouts with different shapes, and sometimes that can help if you struggle to think of a design. So again, I turned my card the other way and I trimmed all the excess. And now I'm going to stick it on my card base, which again is measuring 5 by 7. This card will be in the landscape mode, because I like to have variation, not only the portrait mode, but also the landscape one. So here is our focal element. I back it on the orange nesting die cut here. And like with most of the card, I put double-sided tape and liquid glue and adhere it on my card. And now in the corners we are going to put our 3 small flowers, just to give it more interest. And in one of the corners we are going to put our beautiful sentiment, which says, "Wishing you so much happiness on your special day." And I'm going to put some small pink gems around the card, because I think every single card needs either some gems or some pearls. Here I just thought it would be a good idea to put gems on the sides. If you like this idea, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I love card making ideas and I hope I will inspire you to create something unique and beautiful. So here is our second project done. Now we can move on to our last project for today. And for this one we are going to use the blue color from our pen. Here I die cut 3 circles from watercolor card. And as you can see, there are all different sizes. And again, I'm going to use my pen as an ink. So I'm putting the ink on the stamp. And when I take the stamp, which you can see, when I finish applying the color, I literally just blow on it so it has a little bit of water here. And I absolutely love how the circles turned out. These pens are absolutely fabulous. I've actually never thought of using pens as an ink pad, but that works perfectly. And what's so amazing, then you can add different colors as well, because I think in the new set there are 4 boxes and each box has 3 pens, and 3 pens actually equals 9 colors, and even then you can mix and blend them, which is absolutely amazing. So you've got such an amazing variation. And now, as you can see, I've got a pot with water and I'm using wet paintbrush to apply just the water and move the color around the flowers. This is such a beautiful and unique look. It makes me think of vintage cards. I wouldn't call that modern look, definitely not. But this is just so beautiful. So I wanted to say well done to Spectrum Noir for making these amazing pens. Now, as you can see, I've got some card and now I'm going to do splashes again. This time I'm going to use a little bit of different technique. So I'm using my finger and I'm just flicking the pen here, the paintbrush. And here I thought it would be a good idea to actually mix different colors. So I used the blue from the pen and also the rose red, which you will see in a second. And that gave me such a beautiful color variation here on this card, on this background. If you want your fingers clean, I think that's the best idea, to actually do some splatters. If you ever created a card with some splatter effect, please leave the link down below in the comments. I would absolutely love to see your creation. As you can see, there was so much color on the tissue. I was like, oh, such a waste. But you know what? We just have to live with it. Now I was just checking if the splatter dried before putting it on the card. Now I'm stamping the sentiment using the same black ink, which is waterproof, and I'm going to cut it out using my scissors, and I usually turn it over just to see if the lines are straight. Okay, now I'm using the same blue pen to create a small frame around the sentiment, just to give it a little bit of dimension. It's always a good practice to clean your surface before you go to the next step. And now I'm putting all my panels together using double-sided tape and liquid glue. And our card is nearly done. So here I'm going to back the small strip on a blue card, again using double-sided tape and liquid glue. And this strip was a little bit too long, so then I just trimmed it before putting it on the card. And now it's time to assemble our circles. I actually had a play before putting them on the card. I was just trying different designs here, and if you've never tried a card with just 3 circles, I really encourage you to do. So much fun. And now I adhered the sentiment, and it's time to put some blue gems and stick everything on a white card, and that's our third project done. So here you can see all 3 cards we created today using just one pen, and we've got beautiful blue, pink and orange card. And here, what I said earlier, I've got something special for you. So using this just one stamp set and one pen, I also created 3 other cards, which you can see here. So that's the blue version on a 6x6 card, a pink version, and also a purple squared card. If you liked my cards today, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're interested in my other videos, please have a look at my channel and subscribe. Have a great day and happy crafting!